Ik eisiktumsan ittah keishi.
Ik eisiktumsan ittah.
Maasa ieti.
Chatjak cheese.
Chatsu, chatjak ei. Ishkalnik keishi. Enfranchisement. Guk.
Twagisi goodlich karinach. Okay. Yeah, enfranchisement you do is what is called enfranchisement is when Native women like myself married a white man, that meant our status was taken. We didn't have a choice. At least I didn't. I was married in November 1962, and by April of 1963, I received what they called a blue card, and that meant I was no longer the responsibility of Indian affairs, and we had to pay for everything, healthcare and education and all that sort of thing. So that was up to us now. On the other hand, about the time that my status was taken, there was a man that married an English lady from England. She gained full status that I lost, and it was like that all over. And like I say, I had no choice of whether I kept my status or not. But people like my brother Frank, they gave up their status voluntarily so that they could go to work anywhere and, to earn a living. And some other folks that we had heard of gave up their status so that they could go to a public school, whereas we were taken from home to go to a residential school. And our parents didn't have a say in this. They were threatened with jail time, with their family allowance being taken away, and just different things like that. And family allowance in those days was only $6 per child per month. But that $6 went a long way in those days, not like it does now. But, the downside is we had lost a lot of our culture there. Some people lost their language. I didn't, because our mom had spoken only English or Tlingit, and I always say that I place a lot of store in what she taught me, because she didn't have a lot of English to mess up her Tlingit. She was born in 1909. My dad, on the other hand, was born in 1908. He got a little bit of schooling just when the ministers were able to come in the summertime for about 2 months a year. And then he would teach a little bit of classroom time. And I remember saying or us kids saying to Dad, "Gee, 2 months a year is all you went to school. How lucky you are." He said, "No, my children, you're the lucky ones." And he says, "You're learning all that." He says, "You're going to need it someday." And I remember too that we came home at Christmas time one day or one year, and we didn't know what Mum was saying to us, and we said so, and got in trouble with my dad for that. He told us, he says, "I didn't send you to that white man's school to forget our ways." He says, "I sent you there." Well, even though he didn't send us, we had to go. And he says, when you're in that school, he says, learn everything that they have to teach you. He says, hold that in one hand, but in the other hand, you hold our way of life, everything, culture, language, the whole thing. He said, and then put them together, the Western learning and our culture. Put them together and make them work for you. And I've tried to do that, and I really do hope that I've done them proud, because I have hung on to our way of life, and I've also taken advantage of the Western education enough that I've attended college and university, and today I'm looking into carrying on. I do have an associate degree in Native language education and a full BA in Alaska Native Studies, with that being the major. And in order to keep the language in that degree, I declared it as a minor. So now I'm looking into carrying on to the master's program, and hopefully with the university in BC, Simon Fraser, and it will benefit me that way too. And what being enfranchised meant to me was I was more or less separated from my people, and we were told at one time that they didn't want us to be on native land even, and it just, the feeling wasn't good. Here I am, full-blooded Tlingit. My mom was born in BC, dad was born in Alaska. They're both full-blooded Tlinkits, and all us kids were born into the Tlingit language, which is our first language. So, but even so, to be told you're not native anymore it's not a good feeling. It makes you feel like some of your identity has been taken away, and you're just yanked from your family, very much like the residential school. So, in combination, I guess it's the same thing. But today, I do have my status back, and I'm still living in both worlds, I guess, which I often said, because of my mom and my dad being who they are. I always said that I had the best of both worlds, and as far as I'm concerned, I still do. Gonna cheese shoot ya.